ultimately whatever you wish to do in your life. If you want to do anything successfully, you must have clarity, isn't it? How much clarity do you have is all there is, isn't it?
This channel is about gaining clarity and providing action plan. The way to gain clarity is by going through mindfulness and logical thinking to produce action plan. This is why it takes longer time, because I need to explain to you, I need to tell you why I choose this topic and what are the obscurities. After going through the logical thinking and the action plan, I need to wrap up, reiterate the point and make conclusion. Making you understand takes time. Therefore, bear with me and watch to the end. Watch this video to the end to find out. The logic of the international business is simply the developed countries took advantage of the resources in the third world countries. The entrepreneurs enjoy the advantages of lower costs, bigger profit margin, bigger competitive edge. Whereas the consumers in the Western countries, they enjoy cheaper stuff and they enjoy better buying power by importing stuff from the third world countries. The consequence must be the imbalance of import and export. If the governments did not do a good job on this, when it is too late, who to blame? China joined WTO, World Trade Organization, in December 2001. I was one of the pioneers flew into China in 2002. Since then, I have been involved with American China Trades. I had witnessed the growth of international business on the basis of China. As I listened to all the negative talks and blames, I looking at this globe as a third party, objectively. In a nutshell, I saw a few key points. Point number one, I saw that the Western entrepreneurs wanted to make more money or to have better competitive edge by minimizing the cost. And China was the best manufacturing ground for them. They made the best of it. Point number two, I saw that China did not force the Western entrepreneurs to move their factory to China. It's because they were not competitive. They needed to find a way minimizing their costs. Therefore, they either abandoned their factory in their domestic ground, or they outsource from China, or they move the factory to China. Point number three, I saw that the Western countries started to import a lot of stuff from China because it's cheap. The consumers like it. They had a better buying power. With the same money, they could buy more. This is economy. When there's a demand, there is a supply. In those days, the Western entrepreneurs were happy because they made a lot of money. And the consumer in the Western countries, they also were happy because they could buy cheaper stuff and they could increase their buying power. However, the governments, they were not happy because there is a big imbalance between imports and exports. They could have done something at that point, and now they wanted to blame on China. Point number four, I saw that the Chinese had a very different mentality. For whatever reasons, they thought copying was fine. Why reinvent the wheel? Suddenly, they could have paid for it. This is a very complicated discussion. Obviously, this was the main issue in this international business. The copyrights, pay for it, and how to make them understand and how to make them pay for it. This is the battle now. Point number five, the biggest issue of the Chinese is the ego, pride, and culture. All these 5 points were the big picture. In the day-to-day business, I saw that the first issue was in the interpretation. I had seen this in endless situations, that the Westerners somehow, they believe that they understand Chinese. They interpreted the Chinese with their own mentality, their own experience, and what they have learned from their own countries. This was one of the key problems. The second point I saw was the communication issue. I saw that in endless situations that a group of people talking but not communicating, having meeting but not communicating, negotiating but not communicating. What does it mean? It means these people, while they were talking to each other, having meeting, negotiation, but they were not upfront. They had a lot more things in the back of their minds instead of verbalize it. Well, the Westerners might think that they needed to give them the benefit of doubts. Whereas the Chinese, they might think that let's get the deal signed first. They were in a different mentality. The point is, even they verbalize their thoughts, they might say the same words, but mean differently. For example, the Chinese might tell you that we will deliver your order on time. However, in the back of their mind, they might mean that if everything runs smoothly. In their mind, they might think that it is okay not to deliver on time if I have a good reason. If there's a problem or if there's an issue, they did not realize that they need to focus on prevention instead of problem solving, which means to say that the Chinese mentality was on the problem solving, but the Western mentality was on the prevention. There were a lot of unspoken thoughts in the back of the minds. I was involved with the entire process of how China rose to be a superstar in international business. It started with the Western entrepreneurs wanted to take advantage of lower production costs in the third world countries, particularly China. It is all about the Western entrepreneurs. They wanted to make more money. They wanted to be more competitive. And also the consumers in the Western countries, they wanted to buy cheaper stuff. They wanted to enjoy bigger buying power. This is economic. When there's a demand, there is a supply. The Chinese saw the demand and they wanted to grab it. They wanted to grab the opportunities. But the Chinese had a different mentality. To change them, we need to go slower. We cannot step on their ego, pride, and certain key cultural values. Donald Trump and all other Western leaders missed the point. They did not do a good job on this, and they have lost their patience. Here you go. It's all boiled down to humanity and emotional intelligence. The Chinese has a history of a few thousands. How could you change their ego, pride, and cultural values in a short time? When Donald Trump and other Western leaders try to challenge this, if we are not careful, it could be other worlds for the international business. I saw two key points. One is the interpretation. The lesson learned here is when we go to other countries, never use our mentality, our experience, our knowledge learned from our own countries. We need to watch first, study them, and don't count on those people just because they speak the language. It doesn't work that way. This is the biggest mistake. If you have not lived long enough in that country or grew up in that country, you cannot know the deepest part of the culture. You cannot know how these people think, what drives their thinking, what drives their minds and their hearts. Second point, communication. Same thing. Never think that what they have verbalized are what they mean and are what they have on their minds. The Asian in general, they are not good at open up completely. They are not good at being upfront. They are not good at speaking their mind and speaking their heart. I always say that the difference between the Western and the Eastern is, in the Eastern world, no one will believe in you until they have a reason to believe in you. On the Western world, they will believe in you first, give you the benefit of doubt first, until they have a reason not to believe in you. You see the opposite part of this culture? Communication is a very profound topic. Ultimately, the lesson learned is watch out for the three key points: culture, communication, mentality, or interpretation. These are the three keys to a successful international business. I am Alicia Te, the Certified Professional Coach and HRDF Certified Trainer. If you need extra help, either one-to-one or in a group, please visit my website, jjecorporatepro.com. I will continuously going through some topics to help you gain clarity via reflection process mechanism. I invite you to think about this. Is it more important for you to get motivated and know what to do but don't know how to do it? Or is it more important for you to truly understand how to do it? Certainly when you know how to do it, you know what to do it, right? Remember this. When you understand, you will be clear. When you are clear, you will believe firmly. When you believe firmly, you will be committed. And when you are committed, you will be passionate. Commitment and passions are the two key drivers for persistency, perseverance, determination, etc. Watch out for my next video, Reflection Time with Alicia Tay. If you find this video is helpful to you, please subscribe to my channel and click on the notification bell because you will be notified when I upload a new video. Thanks for watching and see you in my next video.